into how artists destroyed their careers in seconds. This should be good. Let's get into it.
These artists' careers were never the same after one incident, whether it was from their own terrible decisions or a minor misstep that got blown out of proportion. Today we are going to discuss them all, starting with Macklemore, who leaked a text message that made everyone question what they thought they knew about him. In 2012 and 2013, you could not go anywhere without hearing the song Thrift Shop. Far from your typical rap song, Macklemore flexed $20 and had suburban moms dancing to his funky saxophone. This song spent 6 weeks at number one on the Billboard Hot 100. Mac had one-hit wonder written all over him. He carried the most stereotypical white rapper image that is perceived as corny by hip-hop culture, but he proved everyone wrong with his second hit, Can't Hold Us, which spent 5 weeks at the number one spot. This track was definitely more of a standard pop track, but 2 Billboard number ones in his first year as a mainstream artist stamped that he was a force to be reckoned with. However, it was all about to come crashing down.
Disappeared. I really ain't hear nothing about Macklemore in like 10 years for real. That's crazy.
As Macklemore would suffer from success. At the 2014 annual Grammy Awards, Macklemore was nominated in 7 categories, the biggest and most prestigious being Best Rap Album and Best Rap Song. After winning Best Rap Performance and Best New Artist, people were happy to see him win 2 Grammys. Nominated for Best Rap Song up against Drake, Kanye West, Jay-Z, it seemed unlikely Macklemore would win,
that he won
but Thrift Shop was in fact the winner of Best Rap Song of 2014. Securing him his 3rd Grammy of the night.
I didn't even know Macklemore won 3 Grammys. That's crazy. 3 Grammys? God damn, when you fell off like that?
What would come next would shock the world. Up against Drake's Nothing Was the Same, Jay-Z's Magna Carta, Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City, and Kanye West Yeezus, Macklemore had absolutely no chance of winning. Everyone was betting on Kendrick since he without a doubt had the best album of the bunch, but wouldn't be
keep up with these award shows and shit like that, so I don't know nothing about this. I didn't even know about this.
Entirely surprised if it went to the other nominees. The hip-hop community was floored when Macklemore and Ryan Lewis's The Heist won Best Rap Album of the Year. The Heist couldn't be a more fitting name for this absolute robbery. Macklemore was being cooked by the hip-hop community online, reminding him in every comment section that he didn't deserve to win. He felt so much pressure that he decided to text Kendrick Lamar and apologize. "You got robbed. I wanted you to win. You should have. It's weird and sucks that I robbed you. I was gonna say that during the speech, then the music started playing during my speech and I froze. Anyway, you know what it is. Congrats on this year and your music. Appreciate you as an artist and as a friend. Much love." We wouldn't have ever seen this text if Macklemore didn't post it to social media, which made it even worse and looked like he was just trying to get in the good graces with it.
The worst thing to ever do is when you like trying to be like, oh, yo, my bad, you apologize to somebody or you giving them some type of credit for anything. The worst thing to do, especially if it's a private conversation, is to post it. Now it's like, you doing it for clout. Why would you post it? That's between me and you. Who gives a fuck if the world know? Like, fuck these niggas. Half these people don't care about you for real. Because where they at now? While you struggling, you down and out. These people don't give a fuck about you. You posting that shit for what?
With the public.
Did you ever feel any way about him posting the text message or anything like that?
Yeah, I think it was uncalled for, to be 100 with you. When he sent it to me,
we want the approval of these fucking people who really don't give a fuck about you.
He's a good dude, but I think for confirmation from the world, he probably felt like he had to put it out there, which he didn't need to do. But they don't take nothing away from him anyway, because I know where his heart is at. He cool.
Despite Kendrick being cordial and saying that Macklemore meant well, hip-hop fans could never truly accept Macklemore as a part of the culture. They thought he was disingenuous, and they didn't really like his music in the first place, so this was an easy excuse to forget about him. He stepped out of the limelight, and many people suggest his music was never as ambitious ever again.
I think he just fell off in general. I don't think he fell off because of this, because he won 3 Grammys and he thought Kendrick Lamar was supposed to win it, and all the fans just stopped buying his music because Kendrick Lamar didn't win the Grammy. I don't think that has nothing to do with it. I think he just fell off in general. I think if he was still making some hits, he would have still been up there, but he just fell off.
He felt guilt, and that guilt ate him alive. His 2016 album, This Unruly Mess I Made, sold just 61,000 copies in the first week. Him and Ryan Lewis split up shortly after, and Mac released another solo album, Gemini, that did decent amongst his fan base, but ultimately, he hasn't had any major mainstream success in almost a decade. But unlike Macklemore, DaBaby refused to apologize to anyone, which is leading to one of the dumbest downfalls of all time. Baby exploded onto the mainstream rap scene in 2019 with his hit song Suge, which peaked at number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100. In a world of repetitive melodic trap, DaBaby felt fresh and exciting, providing us with bouncy and fun bangers. He dominated for the next 2 years, constantly having multiple singles on the Billboard Hot 100, and he was in...
Reiterate on that. He's just dumb. He literally ruined his own career. And he did a whole lot of shit that could have ruined his career, and people was letting this slide. He was teetering, beating dudes up left and right, violating his baby mom song on camp. He's doing a lot of shit. Caught a body in Walmart. He was doing a lot of shit that people would be like, yeah, I don't really know if I want to, you know what I'm saying, mess with this dude. And they kept messing with him. You over here just talking foolishness on these people's stage. Like, what are you talking about?
Was in regular rotation on the radio. His track Rockstar with Roddy Ricch was the #1 song for 7 weeks straight, a very tough thing to do as a hip-hop artist. But DaBaby was always known for having a bold personality. He was the type to say whatever he wanted, and if you had a problem, he was more than willing to handle it. He even killed a guy in Walmart. Don't worry, it was self-defense. Well, in July of 2021, on the stage at Rolling Loud, his loose lips got him in major trouble. Maybe some that he can't recover from.
He's not.
HIV, AIDS, any of them deadly sexually transmitted diseases that'll make you die 2-3 weeks before the lady, if you smell like water.
What are you talking about? Why would you just randomly say if you got no AIDS and you're gonna die in 2-3 weeks, put your hands in the air? Like, who would even think of saying that? The only way, something got to be going on with him personally that we don't know, to where he had these things on his mind, because there's no way you just randomly say shit like that.
Water. Put it cell phone.
Alright, put it smell like water. Alright.
Fellas. Lights up. Fellas, if you ain't sucking nigga in the parking lot, put your cell phone like
Completely unprovoked and for no reason at all, DaBaby was thinking about gay men and what they do in their free time while he was on stage performing.
Why is that even on your
He referred to
mind?
people with AIDS as dirty and will likely die soon from the illness. Both statements are categorically and factually untrue. The clip was
Magic's
shared
still
onto
alive,
the
so you
internet
know
and
that
sent
ain't true.
millions of people into an uproar. DaBaby addressed this on his Instagram and clarified his message.
I wasn't going on no rant. That's called a call to action. That's what that's called, because I'm a live performer. I'm the best live performer. I'm the live show killer. You interact with your fans. You get what I'm saying? Look, all the lights went up gay straight. You want to know why? Because even my gay fans don't got fucking AIDS. Stupid
Oh
ass
my
nigga.
god.
Him doubling down on his comments made everything way worse,
God.
as he clearly was very uneducated on the AIDS disease and the unfair stigmas that come with it. And although he eventually issued an apology addressing the LGBTQ community, he had made countless contradictory statements after. He tried to profit off the controversy in music videos and even kind of redacted his own apology.
If I say what I say to get people to raise their cell phones and it's misinterpreted by people who watch a 5-second clip at home, you're not supposed to understand what's going on. You couldn't raise
It's
your cell phone.
nothing. I hate when people always do that. You say something. The clip is the clip. We don't need to know, especially with this clip, you don't need to know what happened before or after the clip. Because you're doing, you performing on stage, you performing songs on stage. How did people with AIDS gonna die in 2 weeks and gay niggas sucking dick in the parking lot? What does that have to do with you performing your songs on stage right now? Nobody asked you about gay people or people with AIDS. Nothing. You just randomly brought it up. There is no context behind that. What context do you need to know? I wonder what led up to that prior before he said that. It don't even matter. And that's all you need to see is that little clip. What did they switch around and move your words around? You said those words in that exact sentence. Just like that. There's nothing that was taken out of context, bro. Why would you say, what is wrong with this dude?
Cell phone if you wanted to, so you ain't supposed to be able to digest a clip. You know what I'm saying? A clip that been altered.
It ain't been altered, bro. I don't know. I wasn't there, but I'm assuming that clip was not altered. That's what it was. That's how it was. He acknowledged. He said it. That's how it was. Like, it wasn't nothing altered, motherfucker. You said that.
A narrative to go along with it, with enough people driving it, it's gonna do what it do.
From here, he got kicked off every major festival in 2021 that he was supposed to perform at. And even when he did perform, he was booed and had garbage thrown at him. A-list celebrities and fellow collaborators condemned him. But the controversy continued. He got into fights, tormented and broke down the mother of his child on
All
Instagram.
this was after that controversy shit, or was this before? I can't remember.
Tried to kiss one of his fans without consent.
Like,
the baby
why are
was
you trying to
not
kiss
trying
these
to
hoes
save
on the
face.
street?
He just kept saying,
What
"I'm
is
sorry
wrong
for
with you?
being
You
mean."
the star.
His ticket sales plummeted.
You
which
acting all
resorted to him
thirsty,
offering
like, what's
buy
good with
one
this
get one
dude?
free deals to fill out the venues.
I remember this.
One report
Academics
alleged
was
that he
talking
only
about that.
sold 500 tickets to a venue that
Damn.
holds 14,000 people, and he claims to have lost $30 million
Bruh,
because
that
of
ain't
the
falling off. That's you. That's a motherfucker that fell down and can't get up no more. God damn. 500 tickets? That's beyond blackball.
controversy.
Like
What were the
a week or
L's?
two after, $30 million, $30 million that I would have had before the ball dropped 2021. So this happened rolling out with July. I had $30 million worth of shows on the schedule before December 31st.
All he had to say was, "Put your hands in the air if
Word,
you just
that's
don't
all
care,"
he had
and all
to
of this
say.
could have been avoided. But if you think what DaBaby
Oh
said
my
was bad, you'll be
God.
horrified by what CeeLo Green said in a series of questionable tweets. If you don't remember the name CeeLo Green or his previous duo Gnarls Barkley, you definitely remember his two most
Fuck you
iconic
know.
songs, Crazy and Forget You. Crazy peaked at number
That's
2 on the
normal
Billboard
nowadays.
Hot 100 and spent 29 weeks on the chart. Forget You, which he released solo 4 years later, also went number 2 on the Hot 100 after spending almost a full year on the charts. CeeLo had a very unique voice and was undeniably talented.
I didn't
He pretty
even
much
know
only
about
gave
this
us 2
CeeLo Green
hits,
thing.
but was an ever-present pop culture figure throughout the early 2010s. Whether he was hosting an award show, his own reality show, voice acting, or being a judge on The Voice, CeeLo was loved and appreciated, until some shocking allegations arose. CeeLo was accused by a 33-year-old woman he dined with at a downtown Los Angeles sushi restaurant of placing ecstasy, also known as MDMA or Molly, in her drink. The woman later told Los Angeles police detectives she woke up naked in bed in her hotel room with Green. CeeLo allegedly admitted to law enforcement that he took ecstasy, but denied drugging the woman's drink or committing sexual assault. CeeLo's sexual assault charges were dropped after prosecutors concluded there wasn't enough evidence to take that accusation to court, but he was found guilty on drug charges, which landed him 3 years probation. But it wasn't the nature of the charges that ruined his career, it's what he said on Twitter after the case. After being criticized by people in public tweets, he decided to respond. "Women who have really been R-worded, remember, but point taken. So if I tried
Bro. Twitter
but did not
ruined a lot of people's careers. Sometimes just don't say anything. Let people think whatever they're gonna think. It's gonna blow over and they're gonna move on. Somebody else is gonna do something stupid. Some other trend is gonna come up. Something's gonna happen where it's gonna blow over. Don't write nothing. Don't comment on the shit. You had your case. You beat the case. It was nothing. There was no proof. Move on. You on the internet talking about it. If somebody's ready, they fuck what these niggas talking about on Instagram and on Twitter. People will see people talking shit on Twitter like, I gotta respond. I gotta defend myself. Fuck these nobodies. These people are nobody, bro. You care about what a nigga say in the comments? Fuck these people, bro. You're a multi-millionaire. The shit was proven. It wasn't whatever the case may be. That's not what it was. There was no proof. Boom. You move on. Don't even talk about it. You come on Twitter. Like, oh my God.
did not succeed, but the person said I did, then what really happened? When someone breaks in a home, there is broken glass. Where is your plausible proof anyone was R-worded? If someone passed out, they're not even with you consciously, so with implies consent. It's hard to see what point he was trying to make here, but the blogs were
Might as well
not.
just said I raped her. That's what I interpreted from that. So everybody else is gonna interpret the same thing. Like, this motherfucker really did rape this, but he laced her drink.
Holding back. CeeLo, it's not rape if you forget. CeeLo Green,
Not rape
it
if you
isn't
forget.
rape if the victim is unconscious.
Nigga said it's
After
not
these
rape if you
tweets,
forget.
his
Oh my
reputation was
God.
destroyed. He lost all of his live performance bookings. He quit The Voice to avoid being fired. His TV show was canceled, and he basically disappeared from the pop culture zeitgeist, pretty much surviving off royalties and small film roles here and there. But I guess him and I are friends now?
Yo, Pat, what's up, man?
I'm assuming that your friends call you Pat.
My friends do call me Pat.
The fuck?
So.
But, I consider myself to be one of your friends.
He like, oh shit, for real?
The next person on our list lost her career from something that was totally out of her control. In fact, it may have even been a setup. Janet Jackson is a woman who needs no introduction. She's the youngest of the 9 iconic Jackson
fans. She came back from that because that was so long ago. That was like almost 20 years ago. Most of these Gen Z kids nowadays, with all that stuff in their pronouns, they don't know nothing about this Super Bowl shit. They wasn't even born. If they was born, they was like what 2-3 years old. They don't remember this. So she got past that. She's past that now.
And family siblings. Although she was not a part of the original Jackson 5, she would go on to have a massive solo music career. Jackson signed the first of 2 record-breaking multi-million-dollar contracts with Virgin Records, establishing her as one of the highest-paid artists in the industry. She was named by Billboard magazine in the 90s as the second most successful recording artist of the decade in the United States after Mariah Carey. Over 100 million records sold, 10 Billboard #1 songs, 27 top 10 hits. She is easily the most successful artist on this list, which is why her
I don't think I'll know one Janet Jackson song. Maybe if I hear it and it's playing, then I'll be like, oh, that's Janet Jackson. I didn't know that, but
fall is even more tragic. The Super Bowl in America is always the most watched televised program every year, with an average of around 100 million people watching the game. The halftime show has historically been a major milestone in an artist's career, as it is the biggest stage they will likely ever be on. In 2004, Janet Jackson was asked to do the show, but not by herself, which was surprising since she easily had enough hits to do a full set. Instead, she only got to perform 2 of her songs. The other time was filled out by Justin Timberlake, Diddy, Nelly, Kid Rock, and Jessica Simpson. The very last song of the performance was Justin's hit song, Rock Your Body, in which Janet assisted him. The two met at the center of the stage to pose for the grand finale. Justin reaches across Janet's body and pulls off the chest piece of her costume, exposing her breast to 90 million people. The wardrobe malfunction is considered the biggest controversy in televised history. This incident was actually the inspiration for YouTube because of the difficulty finding footage to rewatch online. Now, to some degree, this was planned. Justin's intention was to pull the leather piece off her chest and expose the red underneath, but he ripped too much. In the split second the camera was on Janet, you can see her look down in shock. She tried to cover herself while Timberlake stood holding the ripped pieces of her costume.
Classic.
Raw. The FCC received more than 500,000 complaints after the performance. CBS was fined $550,000, and the halftime sponsor AOL demanded a return of the $10 million advertising cost they paid to the NFL. Justin apologized, MTV apologized, Janet apologized, even though she...
Well, that didn't affect Justin Timberlake's career in any way. That's weird. That's weird. You would think both of them would kind of like...
later regretted it because it was an accident. The media went into an all-out frenzy. The FCC investigated the halftime show to see if this was a planned media stunt meant to shock the world.
About that. Nowadays, if that was happening nowadays, I don't think it would be that big of a deal. They'd be like, oh, you know, body positivity and, you know, women could do what they want. She's free. She don't got no man. She could do whatever she want to do. I'm telling you, nowadays, you could get away with that. You could get away with that today. And these times, yes, you can. Because motherfuckers do way more vulgar. Motherfuckers are doing transgender strip shows in front of 2-year-olds. So you could get away with this nowadays.
Citing that because she was wearing a nipple covering, that was evidence this was all set up. Class
that
action lawsuits were filed against Janet by random citizens, claiming that her sexually explicit performance deserved maximum punitive damages. Every talk show host in the nation dragged her. Viacom had to pay out $3.5 million to settle various indecency complaints. So they went and banned all radio and TV stations that they owned from playing any of Janet Jackson's music. Janet was blackballed from the music industry over an accident, and Justin was not punished at all, even though it was definitely his fault. There is no doubt her punishment was unfair and likely due to her gender and race. Her career after that wasn't totally dismantled. She did have a #1 album, a Grammy nomination, some light Billboard presence, but this incident lingered like a dark cloud over her head for many years, and slowly she faded.
I mean, I guess, but I mean, I probably did because I just wasn't no Janet Jackson fan like that. And she, not like she was in a lot of movies. I didn't listen to her songs. She wasn't like fucking charting at them times like that for real. Maybe that's why she kind of disappeared. I guess, I don't know. It didn't seem like it affected her to me. It just seemed like, okay.
He faded out of the mainstream.
I am one of those women who have been gagged, both literally and emotionally.
Somebody gagged you for real?
Abused, women who have been
somebody gagged her for real.
Women who
literally,
have
she said,
lived in fear. I stand with you. You are my sisters.
However, today, most people can all agree that this was just an overreaction, and she is still highly regarded as one of the most iconic pop stars of all time. Overreacting to small mistakes seemed to be common in the early 2000s, because this next artist's career was destroyed by something so small, it's almost unbelievable. Ashlee Simpson was the younger sister of the already famous pop star Jessica Simpson, who was a multi-platinum Billboard charting recording artist. She also had her own MTV show. Newlyweds, Nick and Jessica was one of the most popular programs on the network. MTV wanted to capitalize on the Simpson sisters' newfound fame and gave Ashlee her own series called The Ashlee Simpson Show. The series ran for 2 seasons and aired every week on MTV directly after Jessica's show. Viewers who were invested in Jess were introduced to Ashlee immediately after. Ashlee was desperate to not live in the shadows of her sister. She dyed her naturally blonde hair brown and built a pop-punk image to complement her pop-rock music. Her album's lead single, Pieces of Me, became an instant hit in the United States. The song peaked at number 5 on the US Billboard Hot 100 and sold over 500,000 copies nationwide. Ashlee's debut album was released soon after, with an estimated 398,000 copies sold in its first week. Worldwide, the album sold more than 5 million copies.
That's really
she had a bigger
just the
debut than her
fan base of
sister, but her career ended just before it took off. Saturday Night Live, 2004. Ashlee Simpson was set to perform her single Pieces of Me when this happened.
On a Monday.
Oh no! Oh, I remember this now. This was almost like 20 years ago, but I remember this back in the day. This shit was like everywhere. Everybody was talking about this shit. Like, I remember seeing it on film. But I didn't know this was like a real thing. Because nowadays, lip syncing, everybody fucking lip sync. Half the time, motherfuckers don't even sing. The song just play and they just fucking scream over the track now. So it's like, it's a lot of things you could get away with today you couldn't get away with 20 years ago. Lip syncing was actually a thing back then. It was like, you lip syncing? Oh, your career is over. Nowadays, it's like half these motherfuckers can't even sing.
You might be kind of confused as to what happened. Basically, the backing vocals started playing before Ashlee expected them, as it was her intention to lip sync her performance. But instead of trying to catch up to the song, she stood there in a panic, then hit this extremely awkward jig dance twice, before ultimately exiting the stage without saying anything. The show cut to commercial, and when it came back, she blamed her band.
Ladies and gentlemen, what can I say? Live TV.
Exactly. I feel so bad. My band started playing the wrong song, and I didn't know what to do, so I thought I'd do a hoedown. I'm sorry.
If she just told the truth right away, she may have been able to avoid the backlash. But instead, Ashlee became a laughing stock.
SNL. Oh, shit. Oh my god. Family Guy. I never knew what this clip was from. I was like, what the fuck? Now I know.
Even news anchors poked fun at her.
Sister's performance on Saturday Night Live was, well, out of sync, you could say.
All right, sorry, we had to do that. It was just our own little lip-syncing adventure.
We were mocking her.
At just 19, she was publicly ridiculed by the world. And this is all especially ridiculous considering today's standards are much lower. It almost feels like lip syncing isn't even a real thing anymore. Half of my favorite artists at their live shows just let the song play, jump around, and yell random ad-libs. Even though Ashlee was a decent performer, and she did have an opportunity to redeem herself on various late-night shows, nobody cared. Nobody wanted to give her a second chance. It was too much fun to make jokes and boo her off stage.
Oh no, the whole Super Bowl boo, huh?
She did have a moderate comeback with her single Boyfriend in 2005, and her second album eventually selling 3 million copies worldwide, but she had already seen the peak of her music career, and as it slowly dwindled away, she maintained her relevance in the 2010s through relationships, various television projects, and her own social media. But the last person on our list has the most unexpected, shocking, and horrifying incidents that landed them in prison. In 2015, the world was dancing to Silentto's hit song, Watch Me. The song paired with the massive viral dance, the whip and the nae-nae. All of social media was flooded with videos of people doing the dance. With Vine and Instagram peaking in popularity, Silentto laid the foundation for what would become extremely normal on TikTok many years later. He performed at award shows, on Nickelodeon, every talk show in America. The virality got the single to number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100, as well as 1.8 billion views on YouTube. Today, the record is 6 times platinum. Unfortunately, hip-hop dance tracks have a history of being impossible to outdo, because for every one that becomes culturally iconic, there are hundreds of cheesy failed attempts to recreate
that
the
nae-nae
moment.
shit was big.
Silentto waited 3 years to drop his album fresh out of high school, which failed to generate
3 years. He must have thought he was that nigga. Like, man, anytime I drop, people go 3 years. People forget about you quick. People got literally 1 minute attention span nowadays. People gonna forget about you 3 years. You bugging the fuck out.
any buzz, and his second album
ain't
went
Kendrick
almost
Lamar.
totally unnoticed. But before you could fully count him out, he made a decision that officially ended his career. On January 21st, 2021, the 23-year-old rapper was arrested for the murder of his cousin, 34-year-old Frederick Brooks, after a shooting in DeKalb County, Georgia. Police said officers found Rook suffering from multiple gunshot wounds at a home off of Deep Shoals Circle. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators did not have a suspect at the time. Responding officers were able to obtain video from the security cameras of multiple residents and later identified Hawk, or Silentto, as the gunman. Silentto was arrested February 1st, 2021, and then later indicted by a Georgia grand jury on 4 felonies: 1 count of malice murder, 1 count of felony murder, aggravated assault, and gun possession during the commission of a felony. As of now, the court has deemed Silentto unfit for the safety of the public and will remain incarcerated until further trial. Since the trial has not started yet, we don't know how he did it, we don't know why he did it, and we don't know how long he might be in jail. But we do know is that his career is officially over.
Over. Alright, well that's the end of the video right there, y'all. Like and subscribe. We'll be back to y'all with another one. Let's go.